Those who win over themselves have my respect and salutations. A cheerful, playful boy suddenly became sad. He would often sit alone in a dark room mumbling to himself. People would ask him, "What happened to you?" But he couldn't explain anything because he didn't feel interested in anything. By fate, Gautama Buddha was staying outside that town for a few days. With great hope, the boy's father took him to Gautama Buddha. The boy sat near Gautama Buddha for a long time but remained silent. He had never shared his pain with anyone before, but seeing Gautama Buddha's gentle behavior and warmth, the boy finally spoke. "I want to share what's in my heart and ask a question. My question is about inner struggle, Tathagat. Why does it happen that some people become successful despite difficulties, while others cannot even come out of their problems?" Gautama Buddha asked, "Why do you ask such a question?" The boy said, "I worked hard for 2 years. I wanted to do something, but I couldn't achieve it. Every day I feel like I'm a failure. Please give me such a blessing that no problems or sorrow in life can ever stop me." Hearing this, Gautama Buddha remained silent for a while and then said, "I will tell you a story in which you will find the answers to your questions. There was a king of a great kingdom. He was very brave and had a very attractive personality. All the people loved him and everyone felt happy seeing him. But one day, a war broke out. Foreign invaders attacked the kingdom. A fierce battle continued for 11 days. The king saved his kingdom but lost himself. He lost one leg, one eye, and had a terrible scar on his face. The scar was so horrifying that no one dared to look at him. The king had a passion for paintings. One day, while walking in the palace, he was looking at the paintings of his ancestors. He suddenly fell into deep thought. All his ancestors looked so brave in their paintings. How would his painting look among them? Would future generations remember his bravery or only see his ugly and disabled image? The very next day, the king announced and called all the famous painters to the court. He put forward 2 conditions. First, the painting must be completely realistic. Second, it should inspire future generations. Hearing this, all the painters turned pale. They couldn't understand how to make a realistic painting when the king no longer looked the same. And if they showed him ugly, they would surely be punished. As a result, all painters remained silent. No one agreed to take the responsibility. Seeing that no one was ready, the king got angry. To teach them a lesson, he suddenly pointed at a young painter and said, "You will bring a grand painting within 5 days, otherwise you and all the painters will be punished." On the 6th day, the court was full. The young man arrived with his painting covered with cloth. Everyone was scared but also curious to see what he had created. As soon as the cloth was removed, the entire court fell silent, as if they had forgotten to breathe. Then suddenly, the hall echoed with loud applause. In the painting, the king was shown riding a magnificent horse. His position was such that one of his legs was hidden behind the horse. The king was aiming an arrow and one eye was closed, so it didn't appear that one eye was damaged. The painting was so extraordinary that the king's flaws were hidden and his bravery stood out. The king was amazed and asked the young painter, "When all the experienced painters gave up, how did you create such a beautiful painting?" The boy said, "Your Majesty, on the first day I was scared from inside, that if I failed, many people would be punished because of me. I also had thoughts like, why am I trapped or what is my fault? Thinking like this, I slept there at night. The next morning, I decided that I would remain still and keep seeing your image in my mind until I become calm from inside. I isolated myself and kept observing all kinds of negativity. 2 days passed like this. On the 3rd day, something amazing happened. I started seeing bravery even in your wounded body. The next day, I got the idea that you are riding a horse and aiming. Inspired by this, I calmly created the painting." Hearing the truth of the young man, the king became emotional. He hugged him and gave him a great reward. Gautama Buddha said to the boy, "In this story lies the answer to all your questions. Let's start with the first answer. Keep looking at your problems. Often we set goals, make plans, and work hard. But as soon as difficulties come or something doesn't work, we get disappointed and turn away from the problem." Gautama Buddha said, "Whether you want to progress in spirituality or in the world, remember one thing. Turning away from difficulty is a mistake, because the moment you turn away, you lose awareness. You disconnect from your strength, and once disconnected, fear takes over. Everything starts feeling like a burden, and a person loses from within." The boy said in surprise, Tathagat, this is exactly my story. I have also given up. Please, show me the way. What should I do? Gautama Buddha said, situations are not in your control, but your response is always in your hands. Tathagat asked, do you know what the best response is? Gautama Buddha said, when difficulty or sorrow comes in life, observe calmly, without reaction, everything inside and outside, just like the boy in the story did. When the noise of problems increased, he remained calm and simply observed everything. Do you know what happened because of this? He started seeing solutions within the problems. Gautama Buddha said, when people went before the king, they focused on his ugliness and disability, which created fear and restlessness in them. They became so disturbed that they couldn't see anything good in the king. In the same way, you are unknowingly doing this in your life. When a problem comes, you create so much negative reaction inside that you cannot remain stable and immediately try to escape from it. Instead, do what the boy did. He observed the king without reaction and also observed his own thoughts and emotions without judgment. Because of this, he began to see greatness in the king's ugliness and bravery in his wounds. The boy asked, how should I observe? Tathagat said, develop the art. Anyone can learn to draw shapes and fill colors, but the one who can see beauty and goodness in everything is the true artist. We need to develop this art in life. Every day, start observing difficult things and small problems without judgment. By doing this, you will begin to see something good and opportunities everywhere. Gautama Buddha said, remember, your perception creates your world. The moment you start seeing your obstacles with a positive perspective, at that very moment, energy, enthusiasm, and new paths begin to form in life. Gradually, your entire life will become a blessing. Friends, Swami Vivekananda says that nothing can be achieved without concentration. All the progress you see in this world has a strong connection with concentration. So how can you take your concentration to the next level? For that, watch Swamiji's video now or save it for later, because no video, app or news is more valuable than your time. I will keep bringing useful stories. We will win.